day fix of facts and spicy sides.
From breaking headlines to backroom whispers.
Also hot and fresh. Happy Wednesday. I'm Monique Tuzon-Basi.
And I'm Ferdi Salvador. We are glad to have you with us.
I'm Mai Rodriguez. This is the Daily Dish.
And I'm Chal Lontoc. Join us in the next hour and a half with the news meets the stories that matter to you.
And there's a lot of that
There's
today.
a lot of stories. There's a lot
Mai,
to talk about.
You do our hard-hitting news.
As you know, the crisis in the Middle East, the U.S.-Israel war on Iran has caused a lot of uncertainty in the global energy market. So, President Bongbong Marcos has declared a state of national energy emergency, and this directs, I think, all agencies to conserve energy, and especially it directs the DOE to secure our oil supply. As you know, we import most of our oil.
Yes.
And this comes mostly from the Middle East.
Right.
Yes. I'm sorry, here's your straw for your Zeus coffee.
When you mention emergency,
Yeah, so what exactly does a national emergency
For laymen.
exactly entail for layman's terms? So our viewers can understand what it means.
Yes, it directs the Department of Energy to secure our oil, and also it paves the way for a transition to renewable energy sources, which we should have done years ago. We are way behind on transitioning to renewable.
So, Professor,
solar.
it's only energy. There's no, like, for
And
example,
also,
commodities, Professor.
Yes, it has strict action and measures against profiteering, against hoarding, and also kasama na dito yung targeted subsidies for transportation and for the agriculture sector.
Which is very interesting because I know our netizens there are very quick on the draw when it comes to monitoring prices. So you guys who are thinking of profiteering, watch out, watch out. People are watching you.
a lot
right?
of people think that this is all just going to be affecting energy. But
Yeah.
another thing that I've been hearing and seeing online is that it will have huge effects also when it comes to food security.
Yes,
Simply
Yes.
because
definitely.
fertilizers are the second affected because it's one thing that people import and export all around the world. So
Yes.
that's something we have to look
And of course, it's
into.
also it's a symbiotic cause for concern because it's importation also and export. So
Which affects a lot of our industries.
yeah, but please do not panic. We're not trying to panic monger here. We're just giving you the facts, and of course, here on Bilyonaryo News Channel, we give you the facts as we get them. So you've got an informed decision on what to do, right?
Thankfully, we have Ivy Reyes in Malacanang. We are going to hear more from her on what the president is going to say. He is about to address the public this afternoon. He will
Cool beans.
face the media.
Yes, but there are exciting things about travel, Charlie.
That's still happening. Yes, we probably all saw this online. United did come out with news about its relaxed rows in their 787 flight. So it's quite different.
And 777.
And 777 as well. So it's quite different because this means that this is economical for families traveling long haul.
It makes sense.
You might not need to go to premium economy flights or business class flights if you're okay with this. It just extends your seat and makes a mom and a kid be able to sleep next to each other as well.
I love how they call it the
that,
relaxed
Bro,
row.
but
Yes.
I'm gonna burst your bubble.
Okay, let's see.
They're not the first airline to do
Yes,
this.
other people have been doing this. I think it's
Air New Zealand.
one of my favorite airlines.
Mhm.
No,
Air
but
New
it's
Zealand
not
did it.
just the seats though. They have better amenities as well and like more food. It's more family friendly.
Yes, I mean, and flying like this, as you would
It's
know,
a game changer.
Mrs. I'm not gonna say-
Comfort.
I love a whole row. If I could purchase a whole row for myself, that's what Ferdi and I do. Like Ferdi knows, I will literally lay there. Like
Does it come with an
Perfect.
upgraded menu as well?
I don't think this one.
Not an upgraded menu. They tailor the menu differently, so it's a little bit more luxe, if that makes sense. Like
Again?
it's a different menu.
I just got the
It's a little bit more luxe. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a different menu because you're paying a different price for it.
Yeah.
Not premium economy price, not economy price, so it's in between. So they do have a tailored menu.
What
and
other
amenities for
airlines are
that.
also doing or have been doing is that you can actually book the entire row
Row,
for a
correct.
cheaper price. Instead
Correct.
of buying 3 seats, you could buy it for a 1.5.
But not with that thing on the
yes,
leg.
not without that
But
extended version.
This is great for long haul flights. I mean, if you don't have to spend that much money
Correct.
on flying, other cabins.
Comfort and budget put together.
Comfort and budget.
Actually, it's right in the
you can
middle.
lie on
I love that.
Yeah, no, but actually you can buy those things like
What's
online.
going
Yes,
on
to
here?
extend online.
Yeah, to extend the seat. Like a lot of families already do it. There's a hack. You can buy that thing. So if you don't want to pay the relaxed row.
Do airlines allow that?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Because it's foldable. It's
It acts
literally
like
just
an extra
flat.
luggage or an extra extender for the seats.
There's a lot of airline
What?
gadgets.
I'm
Actually, we
gonna
should
talk to
totally
you-
talk about that.
I'm going to
There are
ask you
hacks.
about this off air later so we don't get accused of endorsing. But I want to find out where that's coming from. But aside from this good news from United, and I'm sure a lot of travelers will be super happy with this, there are also concerns about flying now.
Yes, so Bilyonaryo actually came out with this one. Let's show it up in a bit. Vietnam Airlines is said to be the first airline to actually say that nope, no refueling for our side
Sorry,
here.
can you just
Okay, layman's term, most airlines do not carry the full fuel most airlines carry the fuel so that you have the emergency or the reserve fuel that they call to take you back to your country.
Correct.
But that's called an emergency or reserve fuel.
Yes.
But what they're saying here is like, I think it's like a BYOB, bring your own
Own- BYOF.
BYOF.
Bring
Bring
your
your
own
own
fuel.
fuel.
Bring your own fuel, you know, which is quite not so efficient because airlines, you know, or airplanes actually depend on weight.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my weight and balance in flying class
That's right,
coming
Captain.
in.
Paying off,
Yeah, so the more oil that you bring affects actually the efficiency of a flight because of the weight. So
Because of the takeoff weight.
the takeoff weight, the payload, everything else just comes in. But, you know, this might affect other airlines probably saying, well, if you're going to do that to us, then we're going to be carrying the same policy.
So, Chal, just to clarify this, it's not the government who's saying this, that you cannot refuel there in Vietnam, or because they're one of the first countries to do so, or is it the airline?
This I'm not sure because there's actually a trend right now of people protecting the fuel reserve that they have
Yes.
and
So,
trying not to put it
we'll
out
double
there.
check.
Exactly, we'll
If it-
double check on that.
perhaps it's not the airline,
What's
maybe it's
important to know is that a lot of airlines are already canceling their flights. We talked about this yesterday. In regional areas and, you know, trying to make sure that we have stable oil reserves until such time that we figure out where to get it from.
But don't worry, folks. Relax because
We're still traveling.
There's Philippine Airlines that came out with a statement that they've got ample supply.
There we go.
Okay, so relax. Everything under control at least for today.
But most definitely, everyone's trying to conserve fuel,
Yes.
energy, and that's what we're going to talk about in the
Yes.
news in a bit.
All right.
Also, an exciting show today. We have beauty queen Alexia Nuñez. She will be competing in the Miss Grand International Beauty Pageant this year.
Okay, and we also have Ballet Philippines President Kathleen Liechstenstein on their latest offering in April, Paglalakbay.
Stay tuned for those conversations, and we have a lot of news to cover, so let's get to the headlines. In today's top stories, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is set to address the public this afternoon following his declaration of a state of national energy emergency. Vice President Sara Duterte is a no-show as the House Committee on Justice begins hearing the impeachment complaints filed against her. Overseas, we'll take a look at how various countries cope with the impact of the crisis in the Middle East. And later in the show, we'll speak with beauty queen Alexia Nuñez and Ballet Philippines President Kathleen Liechstenstein. President Bongbong Marcos is set to address the public this afternoon following his declaration of a state of national energy emergency. This comes amid the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Ivy Reyes now joins us on the phone with the details. Hi, Ivy, what do we know so far?
Yes, there remains no confirmation that the country is under an oil crisis, but President Bongbong Marcos just put the Philippines under a state of national energy emergency Tuesday afternoon. Under Executive Order 110, the president acknowledged that disruption in the world supply chains over the conflict in Iran poses an imminent danger of a critically low energy supply, as confirmed by the Department of Energy. The declaration also confirmed the crisis committee earlier announced by the palace. Named the Uplift Committee, or the Unified Package for Livelihoods, Industry, Food and Transport, President Marcos will sit as its chairman, overseeing the executive secretary and the unimpeded distribution of aid from the Departments of Energy, Transportation, Social Welfare, Agriculture, Finance, Budget and Management, and the Department of Economy, Planning and Development, or DepDev. DepDev will also serve as the secretariat of that committee for administrative support, and appropriation is sourced out from existing allocation of the said agencies. This EO is enforced for 1 year unless otherwise extended or lifted by the president. President Marcos will also speak with the press this afternoon about this order and answer questions on when is the soonest possible time the president will use his emergency powers to reduce the excise tax. We will also clarify with the president this crisis committee chaired by PBBM himself, because the list does not include the labor, migrant workers, the interior, and the trade departments, most importantly, although they are under Section 5, or the complementary measures in support of consumers, but not exactly in this core committee tasked to oversee this crisis. Also, questions on the essence of this order will be discussed, because all agencies under the Uplift Committee are already exercising these duties. And one of the biggest questions in the room is, will this order override the oil deregulation law and allow the president to impose price caps on oil? Because for the benefit of our viewers, the deregulation law removed government control over the oil industry, effectively liberating the market.
Ivy, as you know, Malacanang has been saying there is no energy crisis. But with this declaration of President Marcos on a state of national energy emergency, is there any clarification on that?
Yes, that's what we will clarify with the president this afternoon, because in the EO, it says that the Secretary of Energy advised the president that there is an imposition of an imminent danger in the low or critically low supply of our oil. But until now, there is not a definite yes or no answer from the palace on whether there really is an oil crisis in the Philippines.
I think we have to wait for the president's statement later at 2 p.m. But do you know if there will be a Q&A?
Yes, there will be a Q&A, and we will be asking the president the questions I just told you a while ago, especially on the essence of the Executive Order 110, because there are so many questions that the press wants to ask the president and clarify, because we need an answer on whether there is an oil crisis and when the excise tax will be exercised at the soonest possible time.
That's right. Well, thank you. Ivy Reyes reporting to us from Malacanang. Economist Winnie Monsod says declaring a state of national emergency would do little to help the poor. In an interview with Agenda, she explains that wealthier individuals could circumvent the rules through bribery.
It's just a statement that we are in a state of national emergency. It's just a statement. What are they going to do when there is a state of national emergency?
Price ceiling? They will impose price ceilings on goods?
Oh, no, God in heaven. That's the seat of the pants,
So, hindi po...
Kind of stupid, because the ones who are going to get hurt most are also the poor. Because everybody is going to bribe. The rich are going to bribe the people. They will not be hurt by those price controls.
Meantime, Monsod hits both the executive and the legislative branches of government for their slow response to the impact of the Middle East conflict. She says that lawmakers are focused on cutting existing revenue sources like the excise tax instead of finding new ones. She is now suggesting that the government create a crisis fund from a temporary wealth tax of the ultra-rich targeting only Filipinos with assets over 3 billion pesos to generate emergency revenue.
No, not that, because it cannot be. It's going to be a new tax, and it's going to be a crisis tax. In other
I
words,
see.
when the crisis is over, the tax will not be imposed anymore.
It will be suspended.
I'm talking about a tax on wealth.
Opo.
Hindi yung tax sa atin, ang ating income, pero yung tax of what we own. Meron tayong, for example, meron tayong 50 multi-billionaires. Ano doon sa Forbes list. So we will tax only on people whose wealth is over 3 billion pesos. All right?
Okay.
And apparently that means only that means 50 Filipinos.
Former Lakas CMD member Monico Pentevella is urging President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to consult the country's Bilyonarios in addressing the current oil crisis. Speaking to Bilyonaryo news channels at the forefront, Pentevella says these tycoons should help the government because the oil crisis will also affect their businesses.
Why don't you invite the richest tycoons in this country? Si MVP, si Hansi, si Ricky Rason. Mas may makuha ka pa doon na tulong itong crisis na ito kaysa dyan sa Senado. All the tycoons can contribute, they can help itong oil. Kasi ang kawawa dito yung pinakamahirap na tao.
On Tuesday, Marcos declared a state of national emergency to address the high fuel prices. The government admits it is facing difficulties in repatriating Filipinos affected by the Middle East conflict. Ched Gatchalian is on the phone for the details. Hi, Ched. So how many have been repatriated so far? And tell us more about what the government agencies are saying.
The Foreign Affairs Department says the Philippine government puts first the safety of overseas Filipinos caught on crisis in the Middle East. Over 2,000 Filipinos have been repatriated so far, according to Foreign Affairs Secretary Teresa Lazaro in Kapehan sa Manila Hotel this morning. Lazaro recognized that these are still small numbers, given it has been 3 weeks since the bombing started. But she noted there are also Filipinos who prefer to stay in the Middle East. Lazaro also said there are difficulties in repatriating Filipinos living in Iran, as the attacks are still continuing. Authorities cannot use the airport, so they seek for land routes instead. She stressed 4 out of 800 Filipinos in Iran, around 50 have already been repatriated. The DFA also emphasized the country is not completely neutral on the issue. It also supports some resolutions and statements urging peace. But it added it remains cautious on reading and interpreting statements. The DFA said it doesn't rush joining any statement or resolution. It also doesn't co-sponsor any resolution, since they are putting first the welfare and safety of Filipinos living in the Middle East. As for the different claims between U.S. President Donald Trump and Iran military leaders, with the former saying there are talks about ending the war and the latter denying it, the DFA says it received reports from Washington, D.C. that Trump is indeed discussing with an Iranian leader. The DFA looks forward to a peace deal that can push through as a crisis that only affects oil prices, but also the safety of the OFWs and Filipino seafarers in the Middle East and other prices of basic commodities. Mai?
Ched, with this geopolitical tension involving a treaty ally and another country we have diplomatic ties with, how is the Philippine government weighing on things, especially since it wants a seat on the UN Security Council?
Yes, Mai, DFA mentioned the Philippines is being balanced on the issue. It recognized both attacks coming from the two countries, but the Philippine government is trying to safeguard overseas Filipinos even through what it said as careful political thinking. Lazaro says our diplomatic relations with Iran also remains. The DFI sees value in coordinating and trading with countries, even with, let's say, China and Russia, especially economically and now on energy. The country's efforts in getting a UN Security Council seat continues. That includes President Bongbong Marcos' recent visit in New York, which Lazaro said was well received by foreign leaders. Mai?
Thank you, Ched Gatchalian reporting. Over at the Senate, Senator J.V. Ejercito criticized the government's handling of the impacts of the crisis in the Middle East. The lawmakers said the response has been not just slow, but too slow to be effective. Nasa linya si Dexter Ganibe ng Abante para sa detalye. Dexter, go ahead.
Yes, Mai, sabi tama ka nga, hindi mabagal ang gobyerno sa pagtugon sa krisis na kinakaharap ngayon ng bansa, kundi sobrang bagal. Yan yung banat ni Senator J.B. Ejercito na nagsabing dapat nung unang maharang yung mga oil tankers sa Strait of Hormuz sa Middle East ay nagdeklara na ng krisis ang ating gobyerno. Pinuri naman niya yung paglalabas ng Executive Order number 110 o yung pagdedeklara ng State of National Energy Emergency, pero hirit niya, late pa rin ang pagdedeklara. Umaasa ang senador na ang pagkukumahog ngayon ng Department of Energy para sa paghahanap ng alternatibong supplier ng langis ay magbubunga dahil hindi anya biro ang higit 50 days na lang na oil buffer stock. Priority anya dapat ngayon na may EO 110 na ay matiyak ang mas mahabang araw ng oil reserve at stable na supply. Pangalawa, yung agarang ayuda at pangatlo ay yung peace and order. Minungkahi din niya sa crisis committee na tingnan ang kalagayan ng middle class o yung working class na apektado rin naman sa nararanasang krisis. Mai?
Dexter, sinabi mo nga pinuri niya naman yung deklarasyon ng State of National Emergency ni PBBM, pero with that declaration, ano pa ba ang sinabi ni Senator JV tungkol sa ano ang dapat pagtuunan ng pansin ngayon dahil umaaray na ang marami sa ating mga kababayan at nakatatlo ng big time oil price hikes, di ba?
Oo, ang sabi nga niya, May, ang hinahanap niya, ang inaasahan niya ngayon ay magkakaroon ng konkretong aksyon ang kanyang hinahanap mula dito sa Crisis Committee at yung pag-consider ng crisis scenario ay dapat laging nasa isipan yon para matugunan ng maayos at makabigay ng mas magandang solusyon ang ating gobyerno. Ang mahalagaan niya, kung kailangan ng pondo, sabi niya, nandyan lang naman ang mga senador na magpatawag kung gusto magpatawag ng special session para maibigay yung mga kakailanganin ng gobyerno. Mai?
Okay, maraming salamat. Dexter Ganibe ng Abante, nag-uulat. The country's flag carrier assures the public it has enough jet fuel supply following reports flights may be grounded amid the crisis in the Middle East. Hannah T is reporting live from the NAIA Terminal 3. Hannah, tell us more about what PAL said.
The Philippine Airlines said it has secured enough or sufficient jet fuel supply to support scheduled operations, including long-haul flights for the foreseeable future. This is after President Bongbong Marcos said that there is a distinct possibility that flights may be grounded amid the Middle East crisis. It was Bilyonaryo.com that first reported about how the country's airlines are bracing for a possible jet fuel supply crunch. This was later confirmed by PBB statement. The PAL says it is closely monitoring global and regional developments affecting jet fuel supply and pricing. They also said they continue to work closely with fuel suppliers to ensure stable operations over the longer term. At the Senate, the Department of Energy earlier confirmed that it has already held consultations with fuel suppliers and airlines. As of the latest update, airlines have around 38 days of jet fuel supply, with additional orders already secured from abroad, including South Korea, according to Secretary Sharon Garin. On the part of Cebu Pacific, it earlier issued an advisory on its network adjustments due to Middle East crisis. CEBPAC will implement temporary flight cancellations and frequency cuts from April to October 2026. Among the affected routes are Davao to Bangkok, Iloilo Bangkok, Iloilo Singapore, and Clark Hanoi, which will be suspended, while select flights to Singapore, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Melbourne, and Sydney will operate less frequently. Affected passengers may choose free rebooking, travel fund, or refund according to the airline. Mai?
Thank you, Hannah T, joining us live from NAIA Terminal 3. The PITX management assures the public that there will be enough buses for the expected Holy Week exodus. This comes amid decisions by some operators to halt operations due to a series of jumbo oil price hikes. Alamin natin ang detalye mula kay Chil Empriso ng Abante. Chil, naku, ano inaasahan ng mga pasahero ngayong Holy Week?
May kumpiyansa ang pamunuan ng Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange o PITX na sapat ang babiyahe na bus ngayong nalalapit na ang Semana Santa. Kasunod na rin ito ng desisyon ng ilang operator na magtigil pasada at sumabay sa transport holiday ng ilang mga grupo dahil pa rin sa patuloy na pagsirit sa presyo ng produktong petrolyo sa sunod-sunod na linggo. Ayon kay PITX Corporate Affairs Head Jason Salvador, bagamat bahagyang nabawasan ng mga bumabiyahe sa iba't ibang ruta sa terminal, umaasa silang dahil sa ayuda ng pamahalaan ay baka ituloy ng ilang operator ang kanilang pagbiyahe ngayong Semana Santa.
Napakarami ng pasahero, ang kailangan natin siguraduhin yung supply ng mga papubliko sa sasakyan. In the past few days, nagkakaroon ng konting pagbabago yung kanilang mga pagbiyahe dahil nga sa taas ng presyo ng produktong petrolyo. No? Nakikita natin na medyo nababawasan na yung mga ilang operator natin sa kadahilanang hindi nila kaya i-sustain yung kanilang mga biyahe. But we're hoping dahil dito sa pagbibigay na ng mga ayuda, sana makatulong at ma-maintain pa rin nila yung mga biyahe nila. Kasi ang worry natin kung dumating yung mahal na araw, maraming pasahero, tas konti yung masasakyan.
Sa kabila nito, nakamonitor pa rin ng kanilang pamunuan at patuloy na nakikipag-ugnayan sa mga bus operator. Nangako naman ng PITX na magbibigay ng abiso sa mga pasahero kung magkakaroon ng kakulangan sa biyahe.
But so far, ayon sa ating mga pagpupulong with our regulators, with DOTR, LTFRB, and then sa ating mga stakeholders and operators, as much as possible, ma-maintain pa rin naman natin yung number of buses natin. Kung may madadagdag na number, that's for us to find out in the next coming days. Kung hindi naman ito madadagdagan, ipagbibigay alam kaagad natin sa ating mga kababayan upang sa ganun, at least aware sila kung ano lang yung mga available to ito.
Maalis sa ngayon nakabantay na ang pamunuan ng terminal sa pagdagsa ng bilang ng mga biyahero na gumagamit ng pinakamalaking landport sa bansa. Sa huling datos ng PITX nito lamang March 22 hanggang March 24, pumalo na sa 535,109 ang bilang ng pasahero na gumamit ng terminal. Hindi umano ito ang foot count ng terminal sa normal na araw. Mai?
Maraming salamat, Chil Emprido ng Abante, nag-uulat. And we have this just in. President Bongbong Marcos orders the release of 20 billion pesos to the Department of Energy to secure the country's fuel supply and shield Filipinos from the impact of the global oil crisis. We'll give you more details on that story as they become available. Meantime, the MRT3 resumes normal operations after experiencing a glitch this morning. Ian Maghanoy is on the phone for the details. Ian, tell us what happened and what's the situation now at the MRT?
Yes, Mai, the operation of one of the 19 trains of Metro Rail Transit Line 3 has returned to normal, the MRT3 announced. In a statement early Wednesday, MRT3 said a defective train car was removed from the main line past 7 o'clock in the morning. The train agency's management assured the public that active train deployment will continue to provide better accommodation for passengers, address passenger demand, improve passenger flow, and minimize trip delays. However, normal train operations have been fully restored after an hour, with 19 trains now operating on the main line. As of now, my passenger flow is at a light volume. Mai?
Thank you, Ian Maghanoy reporting. In other news, Vice President Sara Duterte is a no-show at the House impeachment proceedings. What are lawmakers saying about her absence? We get the latest from Isaiah Mirafuentes at siya ay nag-uulat ng live mula sa Batasang Pambansa. Isaiah, ano na ang nangyayari dyan? At alam ko, di ba inaasahan naman na hindi talaga sisipot si VP Sara?
Tama ka dyan, Mai, no? Pero nga sa nagpapatuloy na pagdinig ng House Justice Committee kaugnay sa impeachment complaints laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Mariing iginiit ng mga liderato ng komite na sa kabila ng krisis raw na nangyayari sa bansa, hindi dapat makalimutan ang kanilang obligasyon at pananagutan sa bayan. Anila, kailangan mapanagot ang lahat ng sangkot sa anomalya sa bansa. Eksaktong 10:20 a.m. na magsimula ang pagdinig ng House Justice Committee sa impeachment complaints laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Kabilang sa mga maagang dumating sa pagdinig ang mga ilang mambabatas na sponsor ng third and fourth impeachment complaint na sila ML Party List Representative Laila de Lima at La Union 1st District Representative Paulo Ortega. Samantala, kahit inaasahan ng hindi darating si Vice President Sara Duterte, ay naglagay pa rin ng upuan ng komite para sa bise. At kapansin-pansin ay tinabi ito kay ML Party List Representative Laila de Lima. Maliban dito, may dalang paper bag ng Mary Grace Restaurant at pagkain na piyato si Akbayan Party List Representative Chal Chang Lontoc-del Rosario. Aniya, akala raw niya darating ang bise kaya nagdala siya ng pagkain. Iginiit rin ni House Justice Committee Chair Congresswoman Jervel Luistro na obligasyon nila ang impeachment pero hindi raw nila makakalimutan ang iba nilang tungkulin lalo na sa kasalukuyang krisis na kinahaharap ng bansa. Pinagtatalunan rin nila sa ngayon kung dapat bang dumalo si Vice President Sara Duterte sa pagdinig. Ayon kasi kay Cagayan de Oro Representative Rufus Rodriguez, karapatan ng bise na hindi dumalo pero iginiit ng ilang mga miyembro ng komite na dapat nandito si VP Sara para matanong siya ng mga clarificatory question. Nilinaw rin ng liderato ng komite na hindi ganap na trial ang pagdinig ngayong araw. Ayon kay Luistro, ito raw ay isang clarificatory hearing lamang. May bago nga magsimula ang pagdinig dito sa Kamara, nag-post si VP Sara sa kanyang social media account. Anya, malinaw raw sa rules of impeachment ng komite na pinapayagan siya o diskresyon niya kung dadalo siya sa pagdinig. Ayon rin sa kay VP Sara, naniniwala siya na gagamitin lang daw ng ilang mga mambabatas ang pagdinig ngayong araw para magkaroon ng tinatawag na fishing expedition. Ayon pa sa bise, mas inuuna pa raw ng mga mambabatas ang politika bago raw ang kapakanan ng publiko. Yan ay sa kabilangan na nangyaring krisis sa atin ngayon. At anya, mas pipiliin na lamang raw niyang tumulong kaysa magpunta sa pagdinig ngayong araw. May magbibigay lang ako ng update, karagdagang update kaugnay nga sa pagdinig. Sa botong 34-10, inaprubahan ng House Justice Committee ang motion na humihiling na ipasabpina ng komite ang Office of the Ombudsman para sa salin ni Vice President Sara Duterte para sa taong 2007 hanggang 2013, 2016 hanggang 2022 at 2022 hanggang 2025. Maliban dyan, may nagmosyon rin sila na ipasabpina ang NBI kaugnay naman sa mga records ng investigasyon sa umano'y mga bantang ginawa ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Yan ay para sa reklamong grave threats laban sa first couple na si Pangulong Marcos at sa kanyang asawa na si First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos at dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Mai.
Isaiah, may dumalo ba sa kampo ni VP Sara? At tama ba mayroon siyang 16 na abogado?
Yes, may tama ka. Meron niyang 16 na abogado si Vice President Sara Duterte para sa kanyang impeachment complaints. At sa pag-aabang natin kanina sa pintuan ng hearing hall ay wala tayong nakita na miyembro o mga abogado ang ni VP Sara. Ang tanging lang na nakita natin, ang kilalang maka-Duterte na si Representative Paulo Ortega na hindi naman niya abogado. At bago nga tayo umere ngayon, kinumpirma rin sa atin ni Attorney Michael Poa na wala ni isa sa kanyang mga abogado nandito ngayong araw. Mai.
Alright, maraming salamat Isaiah Mirafuentes ng Abante, nag-uulat. Attorney Mel Santamaria has a stern warning for Vice President Sara Duterte. Skipping the impeachment hearing could spell her political downfall. On BNC's On Point, Santamaria, the former dean of the FEU Law School, stressed that the proceedings are more than just a formality, calling it a crucial dress rehearsal in the Senate. He explained that this stage gives the defense a chance to examine evidence, test the strength of the prosecution's case, and identify both its weaknesses and advantages.
But remember, before that, surely the respondent and the lawyers would have been already notified. In short, if you do not attend a hearing where you were duly notified, it's your funeral. You just waive your right to, let's say, look at it also. And saka ito yung verification stage na sinasabi ng Supreme Court. Hindi ito yung, pwede mo ang hindi nitty-gritty examinin yung dokumento. Ang tanong lang dyan, okay, does it exist? Are there numbers there? Deposit ba yan ni Sarah? Ganon. Okay, fine. Verified. Ganon lang yan.
Naga City Mayor Leni Robredo might reconsider running for president in 2028 if VP Sara Duterte will be impeached. That's according to former Lakas CMD member Monico Pentevella. Robredo previously stated that her priority is to focus on local concerns in Naga City.
I think she will wait. She's a very cunning politician. Hindi siya yung traditional na trapo. Aantayin niya because for me, honestly, she will wait for the impeachment result. Pag na-impeach, let's say, si Sara, Vice President Sara, or mag-resign at tatamaan pa rin ng ombudsman ng disqualification, perpetual disqualification, she might just reconsider na because she will not be able to turn her back on this country.
For known Duterte ally, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, VP Sara Duterte skipping the impeachment hearing may actually be the right move. On BNC's The Spokes, Topacio, who also serves as spokesperson for the PDP Laban in the impeachment trial, argued that the proceedings are being used not for accountability, but to publicly dismantle the vice president's reputation.
With Representative Luistro at the helm, they're using this not for the purpose envisioned by the Constitution as an instrument of accountability, but as a bully pulpit to destroy the reputation of the vice president. So if you're going to appear before a court that you know to be a kangaroo court anyway, why bother at all? Why give them the pleasure and the honor of having you there as a whipping boy or whipping girl in this case?
In other news, the Philippines is reaching for the stars with the announcement of a new Philippine spaceport. How could this boost jobs, attract investments, and improve internet connectivity across the country? Joash Malimban joins us with the details. Joash, go ahead.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology and the Philippine Space Agency announced plans to develop a Philippine spaceport aiming to position the country as a hub for satellite launches in Southeast Asia. DACT Secretary Henry Aguda said that the proposed facility will support rocket launches, scientific missions, and attract foreign investments in the global space industry. The Philippines' location near the equator and its eastern seaboard facing the Pacific Ocean were cited as key advantages for safe and cost-efficient launch operations. The plan builds on existing international training and technical collaborations, with initial steps including experimental launches as a proof of concept. Aguda added that such initiatives could drive investments, projects, and job creation as the government moves to establish a fully operational spaceport in the future. According to Aguda, the spaceport initiative is also part of the government's digital connectivity master plan in order to expand internet connectivity throughout the country. Mai.
Thank you, Joash Malimban reporting. Coming up next, we're serving beauty, brains, and a whole lot of grit as a Filipina-Brazilian beauty queen takes on the global stage once again. We'll hear from Alexia Nuñez as she prepares as one of the candidates for the Miss Grand International All-Stars 2026. Stay tuned, The Daily Dish will be right back.
Swerte.
New UFC Oriental Soups with plenty of high-quality bits and authentic Chinese flavor. New UFC Oriental Soups. Bits so plenty, super lucky.
Hello, welcome back to the Daily Dish. Our guest today is a Filipina-Brazilian beauty queen, actress, and model, now set to return to the global stage after being crowned Noble Queen of the Universe 2025.
This time, she's ready to represent the Philippines at the Miss Grand International All-Stars 2026. Big words right there. Bringing with her not just experience, but a clear sense of purpose and advocacy. Please welcome to the show, Alexia Nuñez. Mabuhay and welcome.
Mabuhay, girl. We're so excited to have you.
Yeah, so am I. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, you know, we know of Miss Grand International. We had Emma Tiglao here previously on the show. But what is Miss Grand International All-Stars 2026? From what we saw, this is the first edition ever that you're joining. So please explain the difference with that.
What is All-Stars?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's not just my first time joining All-Stars, pero it's the first edition talaga. So, yung Miss Grand International All-Stars is a special edition for beauty queens that are title holders.
Okay.
And dapat internationally. So, like me, I'm the Noble Queen of the Universe 2025, which is an international pageant. So that's why I can join. So may iba na Miss Universe, Miss Grand International.
So it's a mix.
So it's a mix.
And I read online as well that trans women can join, married women, women with kids.
Yes.
So anybody can join.
Yes.
Can I join?
Pwede.
Yun lang pala yung gusto.
Pwede.
No, but seriously, Alexia, I can see that you're speaking Filipino excellently. You're also married to a Filipino, correct?
Yes po.
So that means that it shows that this pageant can actually allow, like what Monique said, anyone talaga.
Very inclusive.
Okay. But how long have you been here in the Philippines? Where are your roots when it comes to being Filipino?
It's been 2 years I'm here. I was born in Brazil, and I was raised in Brazil as well. I travel a lot. I've been all over the world throughout my life. But 2 years ago, I got here, and I fell in love with the country. I fell in love in the Philippines.
Also,
I met my husband, ang asawa ko, si Billy. And
Shout out to husband.
Yes. Love you, loves.
So, we can actually say na Pinay ka na rin.
Oh, syempre, 100%.
So you see yourself being here in the Philippines long term?
Yes, of course.
I love it. Well, you know, with the All-Stars coming up, this coming May 30th, right, in Thailand, you're competing against a lot of big names here in the Philippines, like Fuchsia Ann Ravena, Kaylin Trajano, and Gazini Ganados.
Yes.
How are you handling the pressure? Are you letting that get to you, or how are you preparing for this?
Well, I'm pretty excited. Actually, I already connected with them on social media, and they seem so nice, so friendly. So for me, it's not about the competition, it's about the journey, it's about the connection we build throughout the pageant. So actually, I'm excited to meet them and looking forward for bonding, spending time, and getting to know each other.
So it's actually multiple Filipino representatives that
Yes,
will
we have
become
four.
here that they could actually join. And same goes with other countries, of course, right?
Yeah, same.
So a total of how many candidates?
80.
80 people will be
that's a
competing for
lot.
this title.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I get confused, Mo, because of course you kind of understand already the pageant world, no? But in terms of like all this pageantry, we know Miss Universe, Miss International. Now this Miss Grand, this franchise is actually where from?
It's from Miss Grand International, Thailand.
So Thailand is the pinaka-base neto?
Yes po.
Okay, and it has been ongoing for quite some time already?
Yeah, yung main MGI.
Okay.
And the
Just
All-Stars
getting my
is this year.
education.
Yeah, and then yung All-Stars, bago.
Super
That's
bago
the
yan.
first
You can
edition.
join the second edition.
So guys, watch out for me. All-Stars coming up. Okay, well, Mo has also been exposed to the world of pageantry. Right now, there's a lot of things happening in the world. And sometimes people tend to question, teka lang, marami nangyayari. May gera, may mga issues, you know, kanya-kanyang basa. Where do you think pageantry still plays a vital role of relevance?
Yes, that's a great question. Especially nowadays, I feel people are looking for voices they can trust. And for me, beauty pageant is not just about beauty. It's about purpose, responsibility, mission. So it's not just about beauty. It's about standing for something bigger than ourselves.
And as beauty queens before, we were taught to always just be quiet and be neutral.
Yeah.
But with everything that's happening, what Chal said, do you think neutrality is still something that we should be doing? Or should we start using our voices to speak up and be a bit more political?
Yeah, I totally think that we should use our voice to represent others and represent what we stand for.
Even if you get bashed?
Yeah, go ahead. I know. That's why we're joining contents like beauty pageants to represent other people.
That's so interesting, Mo, because even, let's say, with award shows, the Grammys, all of these award shows, artists have been speaking up. There's a sense of activism.
Yes.
Is that also happening in the beauty pageant world right now? Is there a sense of activism?
Meron, pero mas tahimik.
Okay.
Hindi masyado loud.
For you, kulang or tama lang?
Tama lang, eksakto lang. Kasi dapat with love, with understanding, para smooth yung process
So mas
ng
may
change.
feminine power kasi.
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Interesting. I like that though. But what are your thoughts currently right now with everything that's happening in the Philippines? Especially since yesterday President Bongbong Marcos just declared a state of emergency for the energy sector.
Bong.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think we're doing too much or too little?
Well, I believe that our representatives are representations of the people. They're there because we chose them. So this moment in the Philippines is a great moment for us to think what we stand for, what we want, so together we can change. Not just expecting that the government will take action, but we will do something in our communities, in our houses, in our individual actions.
You know, if the viewers are noticing, we're not asking easy questions here, Mo. And you have been...
And she's still smiling.
And she's still totally calm. We're not trying to rehearse or practice for your competition, but you're doing well so far. And I like it because that means that, beauty contestants are able to also answer these questions. Politically, very controversial ones. We'll get to that more later on. But first, just a quick background on you. You are also an athlete, correct?
Yes, po.
Talk about that.
Well, I am a triathlete. I used to compete for Ironman.
Wow.
And that's actually what brought me to the Philippines.
Oh, you did Ironman here and then you fell in love.
Yes, I was invited to join Ironman in Palawan. And then I travel around and the rest is history.
Cool. Well, we'll still get to know Alexia coming up. We're going to ask her more questions about herself and the world. So stay tuned. The Daily Dish will be right back. Welcome back to the Daily Dish, and still with us is Filipina-Brazilian actress and model and Miss Grand International All-Stars 2026 candidate, Alexia Nuñez.
A few more questions before we give our famous Q&A, the Daily Dish edition.
This is our training ground, so this is basically part of your training.
Well, every contestant, of course, has their advocacy. What is yours?
I stand for the indigenous people, especially women and children.
That's very interesting.
Is there a reason why the indigenous community?
Yes, I believe the indigenous people, they are the ones who still carry yung mga traditions, yung culture natin. So dapat we preserve what they know, what they live.
Okay, so do you also have a background wherein maybe a member in your family is part of the IP community?
Yes, my lolo was Peruvian Katutubo.
Also, wow.
Yes.
They're very, IPs are very close to my heart because I also have roots from the IP
talaga?
community. Yes, here in Taiwan. So whenever I hear someone championing indigenous communities, I truly stand by it. Great job.
Yes,
Wow, thank
pasok
you.
Chal Lontoc.
I know,
All-Stars
practicing na rin ako, guys.
What is your advocacy, Chal?
I advocate for the daily dish.
Anyway, okay, so back to the Miss Grand International 2026 All-Stars edition. I like that you said it's all-inclusive.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on inclusivity and trans women joining pageants, especially your pageant?
Yes, po. Well, I believe being a woman is not just about being born as a woman, but living as a woman. It's about our patterns, it's about our beliefs, it's about the way we live. Sensitivity, it's right.
But where do you
Tenderness.
draw the line with the inclusion and the competitive fairness?
Because it's actually a huge topic also when it comes to the arena of sports, right?
Well, we do have physical difference, but at the end, I believe that is not just about the body. As I said earlier, it's not just about the beauty, it's about our principles, our values, our purpose.
Well, cool. Well, we have a nice Q&A segment that we're going to do real
You
quick.
thought that
As
was the
if
one?
We
No, this is the one.
So we're going to do a quick Q&A with you. This is us training you to get that crown in Thailand. Okay,
All right,
Chal, let's
go.
start.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Dish Beauty Pageant Q&A portion. First question up for you, Alexia. Social media often creates, unrealistic beauty standards of success and, of course, again, for beauty. How can young people stay confident without losing their authenticity?
I love that. Well, nowadays, I believe that the new generation should learn how to know themselves and trust themselves, not just for how they look, but for who they are and what they stand for. Because in reality, that's what beauty is really about what we stand for and how we act and show up for the world.
Agree.
You mentioned earlier your advocacy centers on the indigenous communities. What is one concrete policy or program you would push for to create real, lasting impact?
Education for all. Free education for all is a program I would create for the Katutubo, especially for those in remote areas because they lack on access for quality education. And I believe that they all deserve the dignity of having access to knowledge and being able to get a good job opportunity.
Okay, sa present issues naman tayo, Alexia. In a time of global conflict and division, I love it. I love all the applause. In a time of global conflict and division, what should global leaders prioritize to achieve lasting peace?
Unity. I believe that unity is what breaks boundaries and barriers. So it's really getting to understand each other and work together towards creating a better world for everyone. Not just one tribe, not just one nation, but worldwide.
Now, if you were to win Miss Grand International All-Stars 2026 this coming May, what would be your first major initiative and how would you ensure its long-term impact?
Well, first of all, I would start creating my own school for indigenous people and hopefully replicating it not just here in the Philippines but worldwide. So all indigenous people all over the world will have access to quality education.
And let me just throw this one last thing in. What is it that you love about being a Filipina at heart?
Wow, I love how kind we are and how we live as a community. And this is what really makes me relate to the Filipino heart.
All right, let's give her a big round of applause.
She answered
Alexia Nuñez representing us. Now, before you head to Thailand,
because you're gonna join. You're the fifth one.
Invite our viewers, of course, to support you.
Well, everyone, please follow me on my social medias. I'm Alexia Nuñez. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and I'm so glad to have you there and connect with you. Please support, comment, like, share, and vote for me as I join the Miss Grand International All-Stars. We'll be bringing the crown back and, of course, making our nation proud.
Ooh, the crown will be coming back. We'll hold you to that. Of course, Alexia, thank you for joining us. Miss Grand International All-Stars 2026 Delegate Alexia Nuñez. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Well, up next, we have World Sports and Entertainment. Stay tuned. The Daily Dish will be right back. Welcome back to the Daily Dish. A humanitarian ship delivers aid to Cuba as energy shortages intensify under a U.S. oil blockade. Activists and workers unloaded medical supplies, solar panels, and non-perishable food in Havana. 2 more ships are set to arrive with additional aid. They're part of a 3-vessel convoy from Mexico. The U.S. has placed an economic embargo against Cuba for decades, but new energy restrictions following actions against Venezuela have cut off a vital lifeline and contributed to a series of widespread blackouts. Rising fuel costs due to the Iran war are hitting businesses where it hurts the most. A small company in Virginia is now caught between soaring expenses and the risk of losing customers as it struggles to stay afloat. Jillian Geronimo has the story.
The ongoing war in Iran has caused a surge in fuel prices, placing significant financial pressure on small businesses. A small moving company in Virginia, U.S. said fuel prices rose quickly, with truck fill-ups increasing from about $250 to nearly $300. One of the company's owners said the business is hesitant to raise rates due to strong competition, even as higher costs threaten to cut jobs and thin profit margins. Long-distance jobs have become more expensive, forcing the company to consider raising prices or declining some work. The business is now focusing on efficiency measures such as optimizing routes and combining loads to offset rising fuel costs.
Well, we're definitely hoping that it stops soon. That'll just be good for everybody. If it doesn't stop, we'll just have to become more efficient. Fuel increase definitely pressures us to run things more efficiently in all ways. Planning our routes from A to B, we want to make sure that that route is efficient as possible. We want to try our best to combine loads going long distance. And even coming back from a destination long distance, we want to try to fill that truck instead of having it come back empty.
The co-owners said smaller companies face greater strain than larger firms and may eventually need to increase rates if cost pressures persist.
The larger van lines, they have more of a cushion, so they can actually they can absorb the cost of the higher fuel much more than a smaller mid-sized company like us. If we don't raise rates, obviously our profit margin gets squeezed. So eventually we might find ourselves raising our rates, but right now we're just trying to hold strong.
Fuel price spikes have been one of the most immediate economic consequences of the war, which began on February 28 after the U.S. and Israel launched coordinated strikes on Iran. Jillian Geronimo, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
In Kenya, hundreds of fuel stations are struggling to keep pumps full amid surging oil prices. About 20% of independent outlets face shortages after the government ordered to freeze fuel prices for 30 days despite global price hikes. Dealers are expected to hoard petroleum in anticipation of future price increases. Kenya relies entirely on Middle East supplies through government deals. This highlights the vulnerability of African countries to global oil disruptions and price volatility.
European fans complain about sky-high tickets for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Supporter groups and consumer organizations filed a formal complaint with the European Commission in Brussels, claiming FIFA uses its monopoly to force unfair prices and conditions. Complaints highlight final match tickets starting at over $4,000, dynamic pricing, and lack of transparency on seats and refunds. Fans are asking regulators to intervene before the tournament kicks off across the U.S., Mexico, and Canada in June. Tiger Woods' return to competitive golf ends in a loss, but his mere appearance fuels hopes for a Masters comeback. Woods' Jupiter Links Golf Club fell to Los Angeles Golf Club 9-2 in the TGL Finals after LAGC rallied with 3 straight eagles in the deciding match. The 50-year-old golfer said it felt great to be back despite the result. He had not competed since missing the cut at the 2024 British Open and has undergone multiple surgeries. Woods said he is still trying to compete at the Masters, which begins April 9.
On entertainment news, from Regency romance to groundbreaking love stories, inclusivity takes center stage. Bridgerton Season 5 is officially in production, and this time, the hit series making history with its first same-gender leads. Netflix confirmed that the new season will follow Francesca Bridgerton, played by Hannah Dodd, alongside Michaela Sterling, portrayed by Masali Baduza. The 5th installment will feature 8 episodes, staying true to the format fans have come to love. While there's still no official release date, one thing is clear: Bridgerton continues to evolve, embracing diversity and expanding stories it chooses to tell.
From one iconic world to another, magic is back. Heads up, Potterheads! HBO Max has just dropped the first look at the upcoming Harry Potter based on the beloved books by J.K. Rowling. The image posted just yesterday shows a chilling and a nostalgic scene. The back of Harry Potter, played by Dominic McClellan, standing at Hogwarts in his Gryffindor robes, broom in hand. Snow covers the grounds as fellow students line up ahead. The post also teases that the first official trailer drops today. While an exact premiere date has yet to be announced, the series is expected to arrive in 2027. Up next, we'll be speaking to Ballet Philippines President Kathleen Liechstenstein. Stay tuned for that.
Welcome back to the Daily Dish. Our guest today is a businesswoman, civic leader, and a champion of Philippine arts and culture.
We are so glad to have with us in the studio the president of Ballet Philippines, Kathleen Liechstenstein. Hi, Miss Kathleen.
Welcome to finally the Daily Dish.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've had her before multiple times, so I'm glad you're back with us and now here at the Daily Dish.
And I'm always very happy to be here.
So, ballet is something that is culturally ingrained in our society for many decades now. And you have become the president of Ballet Philippines, 4 years, 5 years?
Almost there.
4 years ago.
Yes.
So why is this, there's a resurgence in ballet coming out now in the Philippines?
Firstly, I think it's because we've been very, very much into social media. Mm-hmm. The digital world has made the entire universe closer and smaller. Mm-hmm. And so it's easier for everyone to pick what they want. Ayoko nito. All right, ito.
Yeah.
So, and the resurgence, I think, is directly caused by that.
Now, Miss Kathleen, how do you make ballet more, I guess, intriguing to the younger generation? How do you keep the traditional values while still being modern and evolving?
Good question. Because I always think of that whenever there's a new project coming along. How is this gonna impact the Gen Z? How is this gonna impact my beloved subscribers of 80 years old? How is this going to be a history, an archival great of Ballet Philippines? All those questions must be answered positively for it to be able to make it on stage. And so there's always that element of the story that is relevant. It has to be very relevant. Even a classical Snow White must be relevant. And so Paglalakbay, for instance, the Paglalakbay was born out of the necessity of reaching out to the indigenous people. And when we went there, on May 11, 2024, we had our Ballet Brigade.
Okay.
That's the outreach program, the Heart of Ballet Philippines, where we reach out and teach indigenous children ballet, just for
beautiful.
them to be able to have something different, especially in their social media. Iba yung algorithm nila,
Yes.
you know? They will say only drama, and then all
But
of
the indigenous, how beautiful is that? Because obviously that's not part of their cultural awakening, because we're awakened by their culture, right? By their traditions. How did they accept ballet as a form of dance or art?
So when we went there were 200 children, and this was the first time.
Where was this, by the way?
In Batanes,
Batanes.
in Basco,
Okay.
and the Philippine National Science High School. There were 200 people, children, and they were all very, very excited. The mothers, when they were approached, we had to go to the elders to make us be acceptable. And they were saying, but ballet, paano yung tutu, paano yung ano? How do we even afford that?
Right.
And then we made it everything casual. You can be in your chanelas, you can be. That's what I say, being on the time right now. So we saw how very, very interested they were. Number one, it was the first time ever to ever have a ballet class, and the ballet also for them to be up close and personal with the Ivatans.
Yes.
And I saw how graceful they were.
I would have loved to be
I
there.
would have loved to
Graceful.
see that.
You would be crying.
Yes.
You would be so touched because these are our, people, Filipino
Yes.
people. And then one of the historians told me that, that the Ivatans were part of the Austronesian migration,
Yes.
3000
Yes.
BCE.
Yes.
Wow.
And they reached Batanes, stayed here, and from there they went as far as Polynesia, Melanesia, even as far as Easter Island and Madagascar in the other part. And that's who these people are. So they're
outstanding,
not only indigenous people, they were movers and shakers of human history.
Wow.
So I said, oh my goodness, I will promise myself there and then that this legacy and heritage of our ancestors will be on stage. And here we are.
What a beautiful story. But I love that you're going to these groups. But apart from them, most people, when they think of ballet, it's an elitist form of dance. And like you mentioned, you said when you went to the indigenous community groups that they were saying, I don't have tutus, I don't have the point shoes. You said just dance in your chanelas. So how do you make it more accessible to a world where they think ballet is unreachable?
Okay, so we make it so that it is just part of movements, because dance is movements. Except that ballet really is the top of the line, and it's really expensive. I will not doubt it. I will not even deny the fact that it's really for somebody that can afford it. That's why we have scholarships for that. We go to these places to offer scholarship for those that are able to be in form and in the craft. And so we make sure that they understand that this is not about the form.
Yes.
This is not about the craft.
But you know what? Jumping off from what Monique said, because obviously, at least you know you've said yes, it is for those that can afford. What do you think faces ballet and our culture and that kind of culture in the Philippines, coming from different sides? I mean, the youth they'd rather be on their telephones. You know what I mean? What challenges are you facing as an organization?
It's more of understanding and interest, Monique. They have to understand that, for instance, this ballet paglalakbay, this is just not a classical form of dancing. This is about movements of, it's a history dawned on the Filipino costumes. And so it becomes not just as a foreign entity, but it bridges the local and the global stage, the world. And to be able for them to understand that, they have to first see that it is applicable to them.
And you mentioned earlier you have scholarships for those wanting to join ballet but can't afford to do so. What are the other ways ballet can be supported, or how are you guys locally supported as well?
We are supported basically by private individuals and companies that are attuned to arts and culture, but really mostly the Cultural Center, for instance, before it was renovated, we've been with them. We're a resident company for already 57 years. So that support makes a lot of difference for us.
Do you see a lack of support elsewhere? Like, what other support do you guys need for Ballet Philippines, since you've been president for 5 years already?
Do we have 5 hours?
We can condense it real quick.
I just really hope that the government opens its doors to arts and culture, especially entertainment, because they do give a lot for the sports, like boxing, like, all those things. And they just probably don't realize that ballet, if you really go to the best companies in the world, there are Filipinos. Filipino dancers that have been trained in the Philippines and would be a part of the talent exodus that we're always experiencing. And if we're able to hone those talents home, it'd be really great. I mean, like, count how many Filipinos are there right now, even principal dancers.
The only one I know is Stella Aberski. I can't say
Abrera.
her. Abrera. I don't know how to say her last name.
She was with. She's now retired.
Yes,
and
she's
she'd been
my
very
favorite
helpful.
one.
Yeah, she had danced in the Philippines, but even now, as we speak, there are lots of Filipinos dancing on stage with the Metropolitan, with London Ballet.
But that brings me back to your earlier statement, how you're bridging, and connecting with different generations. You said, of course, with social media. Now, my question is, how did Timothée Chalamet help Ballet Philippines?
I think not only Ballet Philippines, I think the whole world.
Everybody's into ballet now.
When my daughter, called me and she just mentioned it by chance and says, "You know what I said? Who is he?" That's stupid. Silly. I said, "Who is he?" I said, like, "Oh, Mom, definitely you're not in that culture." I said, "But really, basically, it's because I don't really look for Hollywood drama." But I think any opinion matters, And when you are a celebrity, it just becomes more glorified. And it can be good, it can be bad. But I think on this thing, it made people even probably Google what is opera,
Yes.
what is ballet.
Yes.
I mean, in America.
Yes, yes.
And everywhere in the
I think you
world.
should invite him.
We should
And his
invite
mom.
Timothy Chalamet for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it was actually, I smiled when finally I saw it. Did you see our answer to that?
No, unfortunately, I didn't. I want to see it. I'm going to research it.
The sunset of Batanes with a ballerina just walking down the mountains.
Okay, that's your answer to Timothy.
Yeah, because anything else really matters, but it's how you perceive what is important to you.
Absolutely.
I love it. Beautiful. Well, I want to talk about paglalakbay. Let's talk about that. And what are some of the unique aspects you're bringing to this, apart from bringing the indigenous communities and all the traditional values into a dance form?
The set itself was designed by Leroy New. And
Wow, beautiful.
yeah, so they went there. We immersed for a year and a half. Everybody would go to Batanes like it was our Makati.
You made it like Quiapo.
Yes, so they were there, and he wanted to emulate because Batanes is wind. When you say Batanes, it's the people are shaped and are being shaped by the elements of nature. Wind, the rugged, jagged mountains,
The sea,
the
correct.
soil of the cliffs falling off in erosions. So he wanted to do that and relate it on stage. You will see how it is. It's actually very, as you would say, amazing.
It looks. I feel like she took us on a little short.
I know. I love how you
trip.
described it.
Yes.
And then we also tried to do the traditional movements of the indigenous Ivatans into the classical techniques of ballet. Like, for instance, when you are in Batanes, you've been there, I'm sure.
Not
Unfortunately,
yet.
we've never
That's on
been.
our bucket list.
Darling,
We're going with you.
Yes,
Come
take
with
us to
this.
your
Yes.
New York
Please,
Cubao
please.
trip.
Yes.
Because
Literally across the
it's-
street lang from Miss Kathleen.
it's actually, for me, the best place in the Philippines.
I'd love to go.
I
with
heard
you.
it was.
So
It is.
in that region, it's mountainous,
Yes.
it's ocean, it's the
They say it's like New Zealand.
more. Can you put New Zealand with the Filipino honesty store
like
there?
No, but like
Yeah.
but
Yeah, the
The
terrain.
terrain. Yeah.
Actually, the first time I saw it, I said, "Oh, this looks like Monaco."
It's like Monaco.
the road there and
Yeah.
everything. So okay. So take it from there, and then what we did was to put the terrain. As I've said, it's mountainous, so people don't go there straight, like they walk like that. They have to do it this way, because if you move with the wind to be
So is that part of
lasted.
your
Yes.
movement?
And for instance, their indigenous culture is this way is not being rude or being disrespectful. It's being open and thanking, gratitude.
I love
so
it.
all those things we will see. The hands, the gestures of the hands are not just decorations. It's functional like a sailor's hand, as our artistic director would say. Misha, who's the choreographer, it's all about the movement.
I think Miss Liechstenstein should actually do the narration of this one because
I
you're taking us on a
know.
journey. But before we end our conversation with you, please invite our viewers to watch Paglalakbay.
On April 10 will be the world premiere of Paglalakbay. And there's also 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday for those that can't make it on a Friday. And we're going to do it also in Hungary, by the way.
Wow, that is so cool.
We're having a European tour on May 1, and that's part of our repertoire, the Paglalakbay. We're going to show the whole world what Philippines is all about and get that sense of pride among us.
I'm so proud of Ballet
Amazing.
Philippines. Can you
Yes.
imagine? I can't wait to watch it.
Watch it, please.
Absolutely.
You're all invited.
We would like to
Thank
support you
you.
and, of course, Ballet Philippines.
always.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Both.
you so much, Ballet Philippines President Kathleen Liechstenstein. We're going to take a quick break. The Daily Dish will be right back.
Welcome back to the Daily Dish. Tomorrow, we'll put the spotlight on the Learn and Train Sports Academy. It's a premier gymnastics center, and we'll be talking to LTSA President Sid Castro-Tayag and head coach George Costadinov. That's at noon, only here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. And that's it for us today, Wednesday. It's March 25. Join us again tomorrow for more Real Talk.
A lot of spilled tea.
With Zero Filter, I'm Monique Tuzon-Basi. Anytime is a good time because it's always more fun with us.
And I'm Ferdi Salvador, always on top of the news and stories that matter most.
I'm Chal Lontoc. Stay tuned to the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Thanks for making us your lunchtime companion. I'm Mai Rodriguez. That's the Daily Dish. Serve!
Did you just do that?
Mabuhay! I'm Tallulah Prue, the